on YouTube or whatever, where like the people are on Omegle like scaring people, just and it's like as simple as like switching cameras.
Oh
To
yeah,
freak people out.
that one dude who just kept switching cameras on there to the one where it's like outside of his house, like looking in through the window at him, was my favorite.
That's the vibe I get every time he pops in with this new angle. I'm like, oh.
Dude, my favorite version of those is the dude who goes from his webcam source and somebody clicks off to the next person and he appears in their video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, obviously, it's,
God.
set up to do that. Like, he's just messing with them, but I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, have you guys seen the dude who's got a skullet?
Yeah. I know exactly which
like,
dude you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but I fucking love his shit, dude. It's so good.
Dude. We are in the era of, like, people doing dumb crap like that online and going viral is the best you can hope for, that they don't do anything beyond that, and like they don't set up like a meme coin and just take advantage of people, or they get exposed for being completely fake about what they tout as far as their skill in gaming. Here's the funny thing about that, Derek. That could be one of two people. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I know which one it is. I know.
Yeah. No, it's both of them. I'm calling out both of those guys right now because Musk is barely a human, and Pirate Soft, I didn't even know who this dude was up until a week ago.
So he started popping up in my shorts because he had like videos where he was like talking about like random subjects, and it would just like pop up, and because I would watch it all the way through, obviously, it would then like give me a bunch of them. So I had an idea of who he was. I knew he liked WoW. I think he like worked for them for a bit on this game or something.
I think he was in like QA at Blizzard or something like that. And then I was reading some comments and people are like, no, his dad worked for Blizzard at
that's what it was.
Yeah.
His dad is who is the South Park guy is based off of.
Really?
Because I remember that short. Yeah, I remember that short. His dad, it's based off of his dad, and then the guy who like went viral years ago for dressing up as the guy looks eerily similar actually to his dad back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know the full controversy like completely, but I did watch some of the footage of what happened.
Yeah.
I haven't played WoW in 15 years probably. It's been a long time. So
I mean, from what I understand, he was playing on a hardcore server where, when you die, then that's it. There's no resurrecting your character. You start back at square one. And
you're dead.
Yeah, he was in a raid with his guild, and he accidentally did a lightning ball or something like that, and caused to pull aggro on a mob that ended up wiping a lot of people, and he ran away or something like that, and he blamed somebody else. These might be different events or something like that. Anyway, basically, dude doubled down on his position of abandoning people. And that's where all the controversy came from. And then he just kind of repeated it, and more people are like, no, the dude's just kind of a prick, and he's not that good as he says he is, type of thing.
Okay, understandable.
Yeah.
Because with the footage that I saw, yeah, he definitely ran away.
Yeah.
It was a breakdown. Someone's video is a breakdown of it. And he had a red orb that he could have clicked on to refill his mana. Which obviously it can happen where you just forget and be like, oh, I forgot. Because look at that game. There's a million clickable things on there. It's hard to remember. I get that. But own your shit. Just be like, yeah, my bad. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, it's another one of the internet nothing burgers that could have been fixed by just being a person being like, my bad, sorry, and move on, type of thing.
Not Elon Musk.
No. That is just so like sad and hilarious. Like, dude, you're the richest person on the planet. Does your ego really need to be like, I am an ultra gamer lol person?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck is that? Why can't I hear Walsh?
Oh, it would have been a nothing burger had he said that.
Right.
I mean, with the footage I saw, I thought it was pretty obvious that this was not his account.
Yeah.
Not only in just his gameplay, but right in the beginning when he has, because I haven't played Path of Exile 2. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm an expert. But I've played Diablo.
Yeah,
and
it looks very similar to that kind of style gameplay.
Yeah, the mechanics are, I think, more advanced technically in Path of the Exile 2. But like the Diablo series is an easy gateway into this this game.
Yeah, real quick though, Derek. Walsh.
Yes.
Okay, now I can hear you. Good.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You said something, and I saw your mouth moving, and nothing was coming through.
Oh yeah, we all know who to blame.
Oh, Windows.
Microsoft.
Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, no, Derek, as you were saying, yeah, it looks very like a more advanced, like Diablo style, like dungeon crawler, and
yeah,
it's just like my favorite part of this is that Chud, I can't remember his real name, Asmongold, had a video put out on his Clips channel, essentially just being like, okay, here's my take on Elon doing this, and him and Elon butting heads so much so that like Elon leaked their DMs between each other, and just being like, it's like that scene from, you know, the Godzilla movie. Just like let them fight. Like, please, just let these two terrible people just eviscerate each other pointlessly because they're both terrible people.
Oh God, yeah. I not to defend Asmongold at all, but it was really funny to see Musk come out there and remove his check mark on the Fash app. Just being a petty little bee, you know, like, and then leaking the DMs. Okay, all right. This is how out of fucking touch Elon Musk is. He literally thinks that the people who edit for the YouTube channel for Asmongold are the ones that tell Asmongold what to do.
Yeah.
He thinks that by editor, it's an editor in chief, not just someone who cuts the videos up and adds some fun graphics and stuff like editing Derek can do.
Editing Derek is not in charge.
No.
Editing Derek barely knows what he is doing of his own, like, conscious mind.
Editing Derek sits there. We give him a pile of stuff, and we're like, you know, do stuff now.
And he's like, all right, whatever, sure. I think I can't remember the name of the person who had this take like forever ago. It was a software developer who was like, Elon Musk is one of those people where you're just like, okay, I don't know anything about, you know, rocket ships or space exploration. So when he was talking about that, I'm like, oh, it sounds like he's very knowledgeable. Once he started talking about computer programming and coding, I realized, oh, this dude's completely full of shit. Like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Therefore, why would I believe anything he said about rockets or space travel or anything he said with SpaceX or anything about vehicles? It's just, when you don't know anything about the subject, he can sound knowledgeable. When he knew anything about a particular subject, you realize he doesn't know jack shit.
Oh, dude. And like the video gaming one is like right in our window. So it's like, we're going to see some shit. And everybody who's reacted to this stuff has immediately called out a lot of these things. Like, I mean, for fuck's sake, there's a bag in that he clicks on that says Elon's Maps. You know, someone behind the scenes or like 15 other people behind the scenes playing this goddamn account labeled that and then threw in maps that they knew Elon could easily do without fucking it up.
Yeah, my understanding is in that game, they're not called maps. So you would call them maps for someone who doesn't play the game to realize this is a map of where you can go. And I saw him you can't fast travel real far. He's clicking trying to go real far. Like, you can't do that in the game. Had you played thousands of hours, you know, you might misclick once or twice. Not for a minute or two.
Dude, like, he's acting like he's played all the way up to like level 97. And I think the character has died since then. I think Elon accidentally had it killed or something. But like, he is making mistakes that you would make if you in your first hour or two of gameplay with this game, or like trying to, like, you're still kind of getting the feel. The man was spamming like your just main attack. He didn't know he had mana flask to refill his mana. Like, like one of the items he had, apparently, like, you are able to start wearing it when you hit level 67. But he then acted like this was like, such a shitty piece of gear because it's level 67 and I'm level 97. Not understanding these simple concepts of how this game works. Like, it's so obvious. And for him to be such a petty bitch about it, like, it's not surprising. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's surprising, but it's just like, dude, like, we all know. Like, just own up to it.
Yeah, we've known since his Elden Ring build happened a couple of years ago, and people were like, dude, what the hell is this? This doesn't make any sense. And he just spouted off some fucking gibberish, and it's like, dude, why are you pretending? Like, the amount of hours that you put in to supposedly put into these games doesn't match up with your schedule, your proposed work ethic for anything that you do in your life. And like, why are you pretending? Like, we know you don't see your baker's dozen of a kids that you completely, just outsource their, childhood to. We know you're not actually working at SpaceX or Tesla or Doge or whatever you're fucking doing. Like, just like, Elon Musk has been rich for how long? Is there any hospital? Is there any foundation? Is there anything that actually does good for the world that's named after him?
No. Like, okay, remember we were all like, oh, Tesla back in the day, right? Mm-hmm. Like, with self-driving and everything. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. The other car brands, their self-driving stuff is way better than Tesla, and Tesla had the advantage for years.
They had the head start,
working on this. And yet, when we watch videos of them all side by side, like in a little competition of whose is better, it always comes down to the Tesla purposely steering towards the fucking child fucking little dude and speeding up to kill it. So it's like, I'm sorry.
And you get extra points. Tesla knows that.
Dude, no joke. This thing, the Tesla will fucking, it's like a homing missile, dude. It finds little children. Like, it will not go after the adult, but it sees the child. It's like, this is my target.
The programming for Tesla's self-driving was actually just the AI from Carmageddon back in the day.
Oh, no.
You know what? I wouldn't doubt it either. Yeah. I bet he watched that movie and he was like, do that.
Oh, man.
Okay. But for real, like, it was attacking the child dummies. Like, It wouldn't stop. It would speed up. Like, it was. I shouldn't say it was targeting. Like, I think in all actuality, it just didn't know it was there. It couldn't
say lock on, but
yeah,
it seemed like it. Yeah,
dude. So. Teslas identify trains as just big semi trucks driving bumper to bumper. We know it's not there. Okay.
Yeah, and plus, not only that, we were supposed to be on Mars by now, by his logic, and we're not on Mars. My dumbass was willing to actually, like, put myself out there for that, and back in the day, I wouldn't do it now. I'm not stupid like that anymore.
No,
I'm a different kind of stupid now.
An older, more wise stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
by his logic, we should have people on Mars right now.
Dude, by his logic, there is a great replacement happening, and it's up to him to impregnate half the world to create more babies to solve population crises. Like, dude doesn't know shit. And you know what? I've had enough of this guy. His smug face disturbs me, and I don't want to see it anymore.
I even like the far right, the more fash, they're sick of him because they are realizing like he's not all about this hyper nationalistic, like whites only kind of thing. Like he just wants cheap labor because he's a billionaire and he wants to be able to basically have wage slaves. And I mean, with Americans, it's not as easy to do.
The whole H-1B visa debacle that's ongoing is very apparent of that. But,
yeah. So, like, I think a lot of people are starting to wake up more to his shenanigans than that refuse to wake up to it. But they're waking up to it for the wrong reasons. For them, it's hate and bigotry and stuff like that. But, I mean, this man's no good. Remember that Hyperloop bullshit that he came up with? Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
That is slower than normal traffic.
Yeah. Like, my favorite meme right now I saw was somebody posted, like, a Trump super, like, hypertrain, like, just, like, a high-speed rail, like, proposal, and somebody replied, like, oh, no, as a leftist, seeing, high-efficient public transportation available to everyone across the nation, it makes me so angry. Don't do this. I will soy jack so hard. So, like, there's always that. I mean, we go high-speed rail. I mean, that'd be the move, right? Instead of doing underground tunnels in an area prone to earthquakes.
I'm just so grossed out right now.
Yeah.
I wish.
I do love me some maglev trains.
Yeah, I do too. We need, like, Japan and all them have had this shit for well over a decade, like 2 decades or some shit, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Like, why haven't we bumped up? Like, what the fuck? We're barely above the fucking steam trains. Like, we're still using them.
They're diesel.
Yeah.
Well, there's diesel as well, yeah, but I mean, come on. Like, we're like 50 years behind at this point with trains.
Derek, the answer is always, as with everything, you've got 2 options where you can have your answer. It's either Reagan's fault or capitalism. And really, those are the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, capitalism is just it's a thing that shouldn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Reagan doesn't exist anymore. He turned himself into a gender neutral bathroom.
And we can really appreciate his final contribution to society in that aspect. Finally doing some actual good for the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good way to spin it, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
I wish Aubrey didn't have the audacity to be a little bitch like Reagan, but he's showing that he's only after the money. I got to put that out there. I'm sorry. With this whole lawsuit thing.
You mean the second lawsuit after he withdrew the first one because it was going to be a failure, and then he had to make another one, and now it's just like, dude, you're just fucking you're sad. Like, the streets read the documents that were submitted, and you're like, okay, so now you're just self-reporting here. Like, the call is coming within the house, Drake. Like, nobody respects you now at all.
I watched the YouTube cut of Kai's stream where Drake literally messaged him in Instagram and was like, yo, stay on stream. And Kai going nuts. Like, man, okay. He is literally like rap's first full on Karen. Like, he went full Karen mode with this. Like, he's bringing this into freaking lawsuits and shit. Like, he got owned so hard that he's now suing people. That's what Karens do, man.
He's suing his own record company. Like, his own label that he's on. It's so...
Because he's too much of a coward to go after Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. Again.
Like, not only that, All right, like we're not like a react channel, right? Like we don't do reactions really. Like we kind of talk about stuff on the podcast, but we don't make react content. That's not our stuff.
No.
But people got to make that bag, all right? Why would he not only bring react channels that have reacted to not like us into this, especially when all of these channels that he did bring up have all reacted to his stuff too. But why only bring in the black content creators and no white dudes that have reacted to this shit? Like, it's full on Karen mode, man. It's full on Karen mode. Like, Kai Cenat's brought up in this. RDC World was brought up in this. Like, RDC World's been in the game for what, like 12 years plus?
Probably.
And he's bringing all these dudes in, but fucking doesn't bring Fantano up. Like, what?
Yeah. You know,
like, if you look at the lawsuit, every single reactor is a black reactor. There are no white guys. There's no one else.
There's no like, white content creators in the lawsuit. I didn't know that.
Nope.
Because you know what, I like reached the point where I'm like, if I keep giving Drake any attention or any more mental energy, he's winning. Like, he is just he's a psychic vampire. That's what Drake is.
Dude, like, he's proving Kendrick right over and over and over again, man.
Yeah.
Like, Kendrick called this play already. Like, the audacity of this man. The audacity. Like, don't get me wrong. Like we're in America, but at the same time, like, I still consider myself a visitor, you know, when it comes to rap culture and African American culture in general. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here to learn. Aubrey comes down from fucking Canada, right? Like, he is part black. He always will be. But he doesn't know American culture, let alone black American culture. And he refused to actually fucking learn. Like, the man put up, like, the facade. But the moment people started checking him, he goes on and starts, like, attacking the culture that he wanted to be accepted by. Like, dude,
it's the grifter playbook, and that's what it comes down to.
It is.
And at the end of the day, it's just, you know, an attempt at him to drum up controversy, to keep his name relevant in order to, you know, be in headlines and keep his, I can't remember what the old term used to be. Like, it was like a Q number or whatever back in the day that they used to use for, you know, like keeping people in top of the charts in check and stuff like that, where it's just like, oh, that's, you know, how popular you are. Like, if you keep your number high, like that's all he's trying to do, and it's not fucking worth it, you know. But
if this man learned to take an L, like actually take an L, this all would have been over. It would have been done by now. And
it's
most people would have moved on.
effect. It's the Streisand effect. That's exactly what it is. You draw attention to the thing that you are demonizing, and therefore more people latch onto it, and you're like, oh, okay, you don't like that tough shit. Now it's the only thing you're known for.
Yeah, dude. Like, this is a rap battle. People are gonna like. He is the first one to fire shots. He was the first one to go after Kendrick's family. Kendrick returned fire. He didn't like how that fire was returned at him. So now he's going to the courts? Like, the fuck?
Look, it's... Oh, yeah. It's sad, depressing. Like, another sad, depressing thing that's happened in the past week. Derek, you said we're not a React channel, but you know what? Walsh hasn't been on the podcast since it happened. I want his reaction to Raw on Netflix.
All right. Episode 1 of Raw on Netflix. How do you diss Will Friedle like that?
I don't know, dude. He's right there. He was right next to Danielle Fisher. She's, I mean, come on. He couldn't even get like a shout out, nothing. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, I tell you.
No, but I've actually watched both of them so far.
Yeah? Excellent.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to say right now, second episode of Raw on Netflix, vast improvement over the first one. A lot of less glazing and Netflix on there. A lot more time given to like the actual show and the things that we care about.
Yeah, I was worried that episode 1 was going to be like a recurring theme. I'm really glad it's not.
Yeah.
They're just making it a big spectacle for the first time.
Yeah, first time was definitely like, here is the episode for the Netflix shareholders, for the people that haven't tuned into WWE yet, and this is brand new and they're trying it out for the first time, and they're just like, here's all the big names that you know, and all this kind of stuff. And now we're back into like, okay, no, this is what WWE has done for, you know, the past little bit here. We're getting back to, you know, stories, we're getting back to the characters, we're getting back to moving things forward. Right off the bat, we had Punk come out with, you know, another promo, redeclaring himself for the Rumble, even though, you know, we saw that after last week, but now he's doing it on air, on TV, and he got interrupted by Seth Rollins and Punk with the, I mean, I love his exasperation every time somebody interrupts him, particularly Seth. I don't know why he decided out of anybody, he's like, why couldn't it be Rhea Ripley interrupting me? Like, he's kind of showing like old school Punk colors, because for the folks that don't know, Punk has a reputation back in the day. He got around. Old boy was a town bicycle. Like, everyone got a ride on Punk back in the day.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Punk, you're a married man. Like, keep it in your pants, bro.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, what?
Yeah. We don't need your man horn.
Yeah. It was such an awkward moment, man.
I mean, it was funny, but not in a good way. Like, it was funny in the aspect of like, I can't believe he just said that.
Yeah, especially when you're coming off of such perfect timing with Seth's interruption, because it's just like, cue my music, and he went to do his thing, and then it's fucking Seth's music. And he's like, ugh. It was beautiful. And then he's like, why can't it be Rhea Ripley? Like, you motherfucker.
It's just
like, God damn it, dude, you're an old man.
Yeah, like, dude, like, you're not beating the allegations with how much time you've spent at NXT with like Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez and stuff like that. Like, why are you only hanging around the young ladies, Punk? Not great.
Not a good thing. Not a good thing. I would be like, if I had a chance to tell him, be like, why don't you like come off of this uncle game and just go back to just being old man? Just be old man. It's working. Don't be creepy uncle.
Yeah.
Like, no need.
I did appreciate Drew interrupting. Like, this is an old school like WWE promo train. That's exactly what they opened up with. But at least this was one of those ones that moved things forward as far as like all these characters are concerned. And I love the subversion of Drew being like calling out all this shit and Punk thinking he's talking about him. He's like, no, I'm talking about Seth. Fuck, we're done. Me and you, like, I don't like you, but like, this is about me and Seth being on different pages too.
I gotta give it to him, because I also was like, oh, he's talking about Punk. No, when you really think about it, Seth and Punk are just so similar that it's hard to tell the difference of who he's actually mad at. Like, for real.
Yeah. Oh, God. I will never get sick of Drew McIntyre just being all-time hater and just being kind of like a little bit of a prima donna, but also just petty.
Yeah, but at the same time, we have to acknowledge that he is trying to be the savior of the WWE. He realizes that Roman is a threat again.
Yeah.
And something needs to be done about it. And, he tried to unite the three. He tried.
He did.
In his own, like, you two pieces of shit better follow me kind of way. It didn't work. Yet, I should say yet. It maybe it will afterwards in a bit. But honestly, I do feel like after how Seth went after Punk after getting into the ring, talking about how it was the worst day of his life losing to Punk and everything. It was such like a downward, like, into sadness moment, if you're a Seth fan, that Drew just, it was needed for him to come out to bring everything back up and bring that kind of shit heel kind of passion that he brings in everything. It was great, man. I honestly, with how Punk set it up, like I think we know who he's gunning after. So
yeah. I will say this is another aspect that is kind of making the Royal Rumble all that more enticing, because not just Drew but also Seth declared themselves for the Rumble, and it's with the people that have said, "Oh, I'm going to be in the Rumble." We're getting to the point where like I can't call an easy winner, and that's always like the most fun years for the Rumble is where there isn't a clear cut. I can tell you exactly who's going to win right now. Like there's enough big names involved already where it feels like it's anybody's game, you know?
Well, so Walsh is a savant when it comes to booking.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think right now on who you think is going to win the Rumble.
Oh,
with who you know is booked so far.
Yeah. We got Roman, we got Cena, we got Punk, we got Drew, we got Seth, and as of Friday night, we have Rey Mysterio is another one. Who am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anybody?
Sheamus, I think.
I mean, I'm assuming Sheamus, yeah.
Sammy, I think.
Possibly. I could definitely see
remember.
it, yeah. But out of, those names, like who are you picking?
So I think Seth and Punk are gonna get, distracted with each other. Drew's gonna throw them both out at once with like a double clothesline, and immediately get flipped over the ropes by Cena, who then will immediately get knocked out by Roman. And I think Roman is going to win so that he can challenge Cody for the belt again at WrestleMania.
You know what? You have my full support on this. That works for me.
But I want it to be like Seth and CM Punk both have a great shot, are doing great. It's coming down to the end, and they get distracted with each other.
Yeah. This man knows how to book.
And, I mean, you throw Roman in there, and both of them will very likely turn red and not be able to focus correctly on the match, too, because we've seen how Seth is when Roman's in the area.
Yeah.
So
he'll hobble to the ring with a chair wearing his old gear just to fuck with him.
Addendum.
Yeah.
All right. When Roman goes to take out Cena, Cena grabs him, pulls them both out over the ropes, and we get a Sami Zayn win.
Ooh. What if we get a repeat of Batista and Cena in the Rumble where they fucked up the ending and they both hit the ground at the same time on the elimination?
We'll have to have a second match then.
Yeah.
We'll get a steel cage, hang a briefcase with a contract from the roof, throw in some ladders and chairs.
Truth is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You throw a contract or a belt or anything up there, man.
We've actually got him in a harness. He's suspended from the line, holding the briefcase, and hands it off to you.
I read something interesting this morning that about the Rumble that I haven't verified yet. I'm gonna have to double check, but I just wanted to get your guys' reaction to this. Apparently, The Miz has been in like 15 Royal Rumbles, and he's only ever eliminated 2 people total.
All right, this year he's throwing someone back in, and it goes down one, so he's got one.
Let me see. I'm gonna look this up right now. Miz Royal Rumble eliminations.
That is insane. Only 2.
Yeah. Total time he's been in the Royal Rumble is 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 58 seconds. Yeah, he's eliminated Alex Riley and R-Truth.
That makes sense, though, because Truth gets distracted easily, so...
Yeah.
Like, I can see that, but... goddamn, only 2?
You want the list of people who have eliminated The Miz?
I mean, yeah.
2007, The Great Khali. 2008, Hornswoggle. 09, Triple H. 2010, MVP. Didn't enter in 2011. 2012, Big Show. 2013, Ryback. 2014, Luke Harper. 2015, Bubba Ray Dudley. 2016, Roman Reigns. 2017, Taker. 2018, somehow Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
Okay.
Yeah. Greatest Royal Rumble wasn't in. 2019 didn't enter. 2020, Drew McIntyre. 2021, Damian Priest. 2022 didn't enter again. 2023, Sheamus. Apparently, there's a note here. The Miz attacked Sheamus before entering the ring, so his time is taken from then. Okay, so it was like he was in there for like 5 minutes. And last year, he was eliminated by Gunther.
Okay, so like half of these people don't even wrestle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like during some of those matches were people they brought back who didn't wrestle to throw him out.
Yeah, like some of these were
like that Undertaker one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was still wrestling at that point. I think that was a, hey, you want to come in and throw the Miz out of a ring?
I was thinking that too. Yeah.
I mean,
oh my god, that's so funny.
At least he like worked his way up to higher card people eliminating him in the later years.
That's
but
true.
Starting off getting eliminated by the Great Khali, he was only in there for 7 seconds.
God damn! Oh my
Yeah,
god!
rough.
Well, that was early on though.
Yeah,
Career,
that was early
right?
on in his career. That was 2007. Oh,
I mean, he's one of my ops, but
Mhm.
you know, you still got to give credit where credit is due. This man tried to get in the WWE through the reality TV show angle, and it fucking worked.
yeah. Just
And made a good name for him fucking self, dude. Like, don't get me wrong, like, you will still be made fun of here, Miz.
Oh, yeah.
But we cannot deny that your path was riddled with potholes that you would have fallen through at any given point, and you navigated the shit out of it, and that's amazing.
yeah, you survived.
But 2 fucking wins, bro, or 2 fucking eliminations, brother. Like, you need to up that number. Like, I'm almost as good as you, and I've never been in the Royal Rumble
Yeah,
I'm only 2
Yeah.
away.
yet. Right? He
You're
ain't
only-
even one of your ops.
yeah. You're only 3 away from having more than him, and you could do that in
Yeah.
a single Royal Rumble if you wanted to.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, look, I do gotta say, Miz, I hope you do better this year. Odds aren't in your favor, but goddamn,
He's getting
dude.
more screen time.
He's getting more screen time with Karrion Kross, and they are doing wonderful things together. We'll get to that, but first, definitely want to talk main story for Raw and us this week was Penta's debut against
Yes.
Chad Gable. I'm gonna say this right off the bat. Only thing I didn't like is his fucking Def Rebel entrance music. The entrance
Yeah.
music pretty lame. Everything else, fantastic. I'm gonna give him a pass on the springboard leg drop because I'm sure he's just not used to the different ring setup for WWE versus his other experience in AEW and internationally, because I know they do things a little bit different in every company.
Mhm.
So like that, whatever, dude. Like, you had a slight mix up, not a big deal. It's your first like big show with WWE. You're allowed to have a couple of hiccups.
It wasn't even bad. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't even a bad moment.
Mm-mm.
It was recovered immediately because he's a professional.
Yeah.
I want to know how Walsh felt, though, because you and I watched Penta for a long time over at AEW and all that. Walsh doesn't really have any screen time with Penta until now. So I want to know how you felt about this match, bro.
Well, I know very little of like the luchador style,
Mm.
and am almost always impressed with like what they're capable of doing. And I don't know what it was. I don't know who this Chad Gable guy is. I just don't like him.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
So this was perfect. You get someone who's like, I don't know who you are. Well, that's really impressive what you can do. And you're kind of taking out this chuckle fuck. Who's like, Kurt Angle was my idol. It's like, okay. No one cares. Like, go hang out with Nathan Frazier or something.
Yo.
Oh man.
Yo, that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut right there.
Yeah, that's a deep cut for the shifters that watch GM mode. Oh,
yo. Man. Oh my god.
Quick explanation. Walsh has no idea who the fuck Nathan Frazier is.
Oh boy. Man. So we were talking not long ago, the troubles for Chad Gable, because he went up against Cody not long ago, technically.
Yeah.
And yet, you would think that would have boosted him up because, you know, Cody loves to help the other one look amazing.
Yeah.
And Chad's an amazing wrestler. Really love watching him live. I watched him live. He's amazing.
Yeah.
But Walsh is like the savant booker of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't know who you are, that's an issue.
Yeah.
Doesn't know a lot of people.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, that is like the old school airport test is our Walsh test. Okay, because the airport test is like old school. Like if a wrestler can be recognized in the airport, not in gear, like undercover almost, and people are like, "Who is that person? I need to like that person is magnetic and like draws eyes." That's our same thing. If Walsh knows who you are, you're in good shape.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did not expect
like there's
him.
Some wrestlers who could be walking down the airport in full gear, and I'd see them and be like, "Yeah, I mean, people cosplay at Ren Fair too. You know, do what you want."
So if like Rey Mysterio walked by you, like just normal clothes but wearing his mask.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to be like, "Are you Rey Mysterio?" And it wouldn't be an instant recognition. It'd be like, maybe.
Yeah.
This is how you know. If it looks like a Rey Mysterio mask, but it's also colored in blue and orange for the Bears colors, that's how you know it's him. Because wherever he is, he's always wearing the team colors.
And he is always wearing some fantastic outfit, you know? Like the dude is he is a testament to the meme of like when dudes hit like 30, they decide what they're gonna wear for the rest of their life. Like that's just what they might get new clothes, but it's still the same style.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
and
true.
that's Rey Mysterio. Like he hasn't changed in years as far as like his appearance.
I think the last time I shaved my beard off was before I was 30. So yeah. I've trimmed it and all that, but beard.
Yeah. The beard's the go-to. I do want to just be like, what the fuck are you doing, Michael Cole, when he announced that it was the worst kept secret that Penta was going to be there? My brother in Christ. Not only did the merch store announce his merch earlier in the day, but for the past couple of weeks, you've had video packages teasing his appearance on TV. There was nothing about it that was secret. It wasn't supposed to be a secret.
I was surprised.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I figured you would be. So I have to ask, Walsh, what would you rate Penta wise for this match that you saw?
Let's go 3.5 stars. It was really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a feeling he's got amazing in him.
Yeah. For the folks that aren't like familiar with Penta, I highly recommend going back to his Lucha Underground days, where he was just an arm-breaking demon and terrifying. I do got to put over though Chad Gable's selling of the Mexican Destroyer. The way that impact and the way he bumped was just a thing of beauty.
Dude. Chad is amazing. Amazing at taking bumps. And this was no joke. The snap, the landing, the bounce away, dude. Like 10 out of fucking 10, brother.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Other highlights of the show was, Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Standard, like, Sheamus gonna put on a banger of a match. Wasn't gonna, break any records or anything, but still decent. Dom being in the doghouse with Liv long-term storytelling with the Judgment Day is, I mean, it cracks me up. Like him being just oblivious.
Thank you. That's what I was gonna bring up. Was like, how the hell do you not know that you're a dude? Like, what? You brought flowers? You walked away with flowers, brother.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
Was that not obvious to you?
I'm just waiting for Finn to be like, dude, put the fries in the bag, bro. Let's go. You're out.
Oh man. I'm liking where they're taking it so far. It's working still.
Yeah, I love this era of WWE wrestlers having memories that work. You know, not forgetting things that happen week to week. It's very it's uplifting. You know.
Well, ever since they've tried to do less concussions, less CTE.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier for people to actually remember their storylines now.
Yeah, less unprotected chair shots to the head. Yeah.
Not always, though. Not always.
No.
Still got a couple.
And then we had the Gunther promo with Jey Uso. Really just... I like when Jey does the take the sunglasses off and now I'm serious mode. Mm-hmm. That's a nice touch. It's like, you know, the Clark Kent Superman glasses move, where it's just like, okay, now I'm not going to just do, you know, the yeet thing. I'm going to show that I can actually deliver some heartfeltness. And it actually, like, puts a little bit of, like, doubt on whether Gunther can retain that Saturday night's main event coming up.
I just like how calm and polite Gunther destroyed him.
Yeah. Also, the balls on the person in the crowd that threw popcorn at Gunther. That took some balls right there. Because, like, I'm sorry. Like, dude. One Gunther chop, I'm dead. Like,
dude. I was, like, expecting to see this dude, like, jump out there and go after him. Like, no joke. Didn't happen, though.
No. He's the fucking Iceman. He's ice cold. You can't sway him.
I do have to say, Gunther, I think his time is limited. I think we've known that for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's time is limited with these belts, but more limited than most at this point. I think there is a chance that Jey could take the belt off him, though slim.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason is because they're trying to promote the Saturday night main events going on throughout the year. And one way to get people to keep watching them is if there's belt drop. So,
I mean, that's what you want in your promotion when it comes to your champions. You just need that seed of doubt that they can retain. Like, if there's a small, no matter how small of a percentage chance that they could lose and there could be a title change, that'll get people to tune in. You know?
Oh, yeah. Like, if they had stayed keeping Gunther strong long term and looking strong long term, and you could have easily done that if you didn't do Crown Jewel.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion, but I could see him having a long reign and setting a record, and then having someone like Sammy come in and stop him for a third time.
Yeah.
So,
but speaking of records, we also had a historic night with the inaugural Intercontinental Women's Champion. Dakota Kai, Lyra, Valkyria. This was probably like the match of the night for me. This fucking ruled.
It was a damn good match. I was surprised. Lyra, I don't have a lot of like history of watching her, but she definitely stands out, man. She's got Riz for days.
Dude, that vertical suplex from the apron to the floor. Oh, man, that was something to behold. Also, like, I mean, sure, the tournament, like, for determining the IC was kind of lackluster, but this fucking delivered, man. I just feel bad for all the Dakota Kai stands who are just like, we stay losing. Just,
dude. Okay, I will say, I am happy for Lyra, but I also will say Dakota's put her time in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm a Dakota Kai stan or anything, but I do feel like it was warranted to put the belt on her a little bit. But that made me want to watch this match even more because Lyra was on this like crazy trajectory the past like month and a half, 2 months, and Dakota's only just recently returned from injury. So, like, even though she was starting to move up, like it between the two, it does make sense. Like,
Yeah.
Dakota would be more rusty compared to Lyra. But like, there was like a snap, like just a snap moment where I really thought Dakota was going to win, and that's when she caught Lyra doing her Karana, and then like had to re-pick her up to slam her down. I was like, ooh, this one's going to hurt. Like, this one's going to be it. And it didn't fucking end.
No, dude, they put in the work, and it showed, and they were just they felt like old pros, just like taking the crowd for a ride. Like, you guys bought your ticket, we're taking you on a roller coaster for this one.
It was a good match. I really enjoyed it. I do think it was the highlight of the night, for sure. Not just because it's record setting. I whistled there a moment. But these two working together, they worked really well. Like you said, like, yeah, it's like old pros just going at it. I think Valkyria is really going to catch being the inaugural champ.
Yeah.
And I'm just proud of her.
Yeah, make the most of it. Like, Chelsea Green's done phenomenal with the women's U.S. title. I hope they do the same for her.
2-year champ, baby.
Yeah. Very quickly, we got to Sami Zayn versus The Miz. And number one, the backstage segment that set this up, go back, watch it again, and just watch Karrion Kross the whole time. Because he is just doing the most with every second of screen time. It's just like, I'm so happy Karrion Kross is finally like in a place where he is not just like over, but everything he's doing is just something I want to watch. He is so entertaining right now, and pairing him with The Miz is just, it's too fucking funny.
Well, I love that The Miz is not smart enough to realize he's being played by Karrion. Because it's like, oh, we're a team, but then The Miz has to go out himself. It doesn't have Karrion or anybody else from Final Testament coming out.
No.
Like, it works great. And, I mean, honestly, I think it's because Karrion's carrying all this.
He is. And if The Miz doesn't, he's going to break his legs. But the surprise of the night is Sami Zayn getting a win with a blue Thunder Bomb. Just, he never wins with it. He never wins with it. And of anybody to beat, it's The Miz. And it's just hilarious.
And how embarrassing for The Miz. Like, that's a setup move, man.
It's good. I like it. It's funny. It cracks me up. Then we got the Rhea Ripley promo to be interrupted by Nia and Bailey and all of these shenanigans all combined and blah blah blah. I just gotta say, the crowd reaction to Nia Jax is like, she's hit like Dominic Mysterio level.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
I was surprised that she was able to try and keep talking through her promo. Walsh, did you see that part?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the
Bailey
look on her
jumped in
face
from like the crowd, right?
Yeah. She gave a look like she was surprised at the reaction. And I mean, it was a good surprise. It wasn't bad surprise, obviously, because she wants to be this type of character, like a shit heel. It was surprising. I know there's a lot of times where a lot of us aren't really behind her that much because she still has a lot to learn. This was earned, man. After all this craziness with the belt and all that, dude, this was earned. It was needed.
Dude, not only was it needed, but it added something to, we're getting a women's Royal Rumble storyline happening finally. Like, there's some parity happening with the men's and women's Royal Rumble. It usually with the women's Royal Rumble, they rely on just like surprise returns or pulling, legends from the past with the women's roster. And I would like for them to actually like, okay, let's establish a storyline for these characters in this Rumble for once.
Maybe they'll do both.
Yeah.
They're waiting to bring Charlotte Flair in at the Royal Rumble.
I mean, they did have a video package for her on SmackDown.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not off base there, brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hopeful guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We've been begging to see her on air again, man.
Oh yeah. Like, she is definitely like, I don't care which belt she goes for. It's just nice to have somebody else at the top of the card, because it's been Rhea and Liv for like an entire year now, basically, without much really happening as far as like, okay, who's actually going to take the belt? I mean, Bayley's there, but they haven't really, like, they've given her the opportunities, but they haven't felt real, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the few times she went up against Nia for the belt when Nia still retained, I didn't really get the impression she was gonna win.
Mhm.
The one that I had the impression was Naomi, but they didn't do it
No.
because they had to make her the tag team champ alongside Bianca.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, like Nia was like teasing coming to Raw because she's on SmackDown normally.
Yeah.
And the fans were like, "Fuck you, hell no."
We don't want you. You don't even go here.
You don't even go here. Which made me wonder, do you think she's actually going to move from SmackDown to Raw now that she's dropped the title?
Maybe. This whole like transfer window thing is so like undefined and nebulous that anything could happen, and I'm just like, all right, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, I don't think they've established what it means in any capacity, and they're just like, no, what it's an one size fits all phrase. We can just say whatever and just end it up with excuse me, and finish it off with a transfer window, and that'll explain it. Done.
Well, if y'all remember, they did this during the Attitude Era when tried to act like the two were not ever gonna like merge except for at PLEs.
Yeah,
So-
Survivor Series. It's the only time of year where superstars from Raw and SmackDown can interact, except for every
Yeah.
other week of the year.
Yeah, if it has that same vibe.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know. Like I think she might do better going over for a little while
Yeah.
and facing off against some different wrestlers that she doesn't normally face. I don't think Bayley should. I think Bayley should stay at SmackDown. Yeah.
I just think some fluidity doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't.
To start, you know what? You're in WWE. Doesn't matter what night we're having you wrestle under what show name.
Yeah. Like, the only people that shouldn't probably move are, like, their respective champions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even then, a non-championship match, be like, oh yeah, Cody was going against this guy. It's not for the belts or anything, but it's an exhibition match.
Yeah. It's happening.
Didn't I thought I read, this might be a rumor. I thought I read that we're getting a hardcore belt in 2025 at WWE again.
I don't know about that. I just know that they had Travis Scott walking around with it.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. While he was hitting the blunt and
Yeah.
marking out over X-Pac backstage. If you've seen the socials for WWE, apparently they had some backstage footage before him coming out with Jey Uso, and he met X-Pac and was just like overjoyed about that. Like, he's a huge mark for X-Pac.
Oh boy.
And then called him the Pac.
I wonder if he begged for a suck it.
Oh, dude, you don't have to beg for that. He'll just bust that out. Like, like, that's his hello these days.
He's just walking around with his hands freaking in an X as he's going like to the store. Someone's like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Pac." He's like, "Suck it."
Yeah.
That's how he pays for eggs.
Mm-hmm. Hey, eggs are
with how
expensive.
with how expensive them motherfucking things are.
Although I do gotta say, besides the women's IC title match and Penta's debut, the main event, the street fight between Finn Balor and Damian Priest, like, that delivered. Like, I didn't care about this match going in, and I was pretty disappointed that both of them were not in denim jeans, because it's a street fight, and those are the rules. You show up for a street fight, you wear denim, you wear jeans, but they still fucking delivered on the match itself. Like, barely controlled chaos of a match, I would say. The broken arrow from the stands to the tables, just...
I actually thought it was over. There, like I fell into the kayfabe unintentionally with that moment when they cut back and Finn's on the stretcher and everything, and I was like, "Oh shit, this was real! Like he actually got injured." And then it cuts. The camera cuts to Damien, and he's just psyching himself up, getting more fucking mad. Yeah, and he's just like. Dude, jumps out there. I'm like, oh, this is part of this. Okay, all right. This, because at the moment I was like, well, that fucking sucks. That means this rivalry's never ending. And no, I was wrong,
dude.
Oh boy, was I wrong.
There were so many.
Should have realized. In reality, there's no way they'd have him on the stretcher in the neck brace that quick. There's 15 minutes of, all right, don't move him in case.
True.
Yeah. Although it has been established, I think it was Hell in a Cell a couple years ago, where like Finn legitimately like had to get stapled in the ring, his head back together, like mid-match, and they kept going. But there was just so many great moments in this, like Finn on the gurney getting pushed back down the ramp into the ring, and he just rolls in. Damian Priest delivering that lariat with the chair around his neck was
dude.
Oh my god, dude! So many.
The grabbing Carlito by the tops of his hair, and then whipping him by his hair. I don't think that was intentional. I think he meant to like grab him like down back here, and he accidentally grabbed up here. And you see Carlito like grab his own hair and go, oh,
yeah. Oh god, was it a coup de grace through the table? Oh, on the outside, just like the only thing I really could have done without was like the War Raiders at the end, because
it was a little weird.
Like I'm like, why are you guys getting involved in this? Like I don't understand your motivation for it, other than just being like, we're tag teams and they had the belts and blah blah blah.
I actually know the answer to this.
Okay, all right.
There was a promo done like a week or two ago where the War Raiders were talking with Damien. And they were talking about how they would have each other's back. Oh. And Damien had their back during their tag team match. So they had his back during this match.
Okay, my fault. I must have forgotten it in the complete oblivion of Hulk Hogan's booing at Raw last week.
I'm surprised I fucking remember that, Alex. Like, no joke.
Nope, all the credit to you. Congratulations.
Like, I actually remember that.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, you got a heck of a memory, thanks to WWE not forgetting things. That's affecting us as well.
Yeah, we're no longer living week to week, having like a completely different mindset each week.
Yeah, we don't suffer from soap opera amnesia.
Speak for yourself.
I have to agree, though. This match was a banger. This was easily like a 4.9 out of 5. Like honestly, if they didn't have the War Raiders come out, it would have been a 5-star.
Yeah,
that kind of drew me out. I loved that the first coup de grace that Balor did looked like he got Damien in the nuts on accident.
Yeah.
The coup de grace through the table, that looked like that fucking hurt. Like, not so much for Damien, but for Finn. That looked like that hurt Finn like a motherfucker.
Dude.
The way that table like broke and then he lands on the broken part of the table before it flattens out, like, dude.
Keep that in the back of your head later on, because first we gotta get through some other stuff. I gotta talk about Collision. Dynamite happened, Maximum Carnage opened up, Kenny Omega versus Brian Cage, and solid all around. Not like Kenny's like blow away like revolutionary type of match, but still like even that like mid-level Kenny Omega, you're still getting some of the best wrestling in the world. Just insane.
Oh yeah.
There was a great touch where there was a release power bomb from Brian Cage over the rope from the ramp back into the ring, and just that aspect of it being from like the ramp back into the ring just made it that much more better. You know, it's strange how like those little touches that you see in like Omega and matches where it's like there's a slight change to something and somehow that just makes it that much better. You know?
Oh yeah,
yeah. But as you were talking earlier about beards, credit to Brian Cage for just going full beard finally and looking like $1 million. Like, ever since he stopped doing like the Wolverine chops and just like letting the whole thing grow out, he looks so much cooler.
Yeah. I was gonna say the weird, like, I don't know, those chops, man. I've never liked that kind of style. It always freaks me out.
Yeah,
it's like uncanny valley level shit for me.
Yeah, it. I know he was going for like the whole like Wolverine like adjacent look. This is better. This is just better.
I agree.
Yeah. And then, of course, we had, like, the rest of the Callis family coming out and causing a whole schmoz. Will Ospreay making the save. And, like, there's a little bit of interaction. There's a hint of the future with something with Ospreay and Omega in the future. And Takeshita getting involved with the rest of the Don Callis family. And I loved that Takeshita holding up the belt in Kenny's face and him just swatting it away. Like, I don't give a shit about that title. I want to fight you. That's all I care about. Great touch.
He wants to start swinging, man. Like, let him do it, dude.
Then they had Ricochet coming out to do a promo, and no joke, I looked at the timestamp on this. He went a full 2 minutes of getting booed without even attempting to say a word. That he went 2 minutes before he even pulled the mic to his mouth.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. And then, of course, there was the fantastic moment. He's like, he does that, like, realizing, you're not going to let me talk, but a picture says 1,000 words. And they put he does the point to the screen, and they put his attack on Swerve with the scissors on there, only for the Swerve's music to hit, and him getting prepared, only for Prince Nana to smack him with a chair and then do his dance. Swerve coming out with the chain, and the way that Ricochet runs in this moment it's like somebody threw like a cucumber behind a cat and it thinks it's a snake. You know?
I love it.
Yeah. Great moment. There was a fantastic video package for Mercedes Moné. Much better than anything that they've really done with her like backstage in, like the past year. Like they're finally like selling the persona much better with this whole thing of like, no, she's like jet setting around and like being a massive star and like actually selling it.
Oh, good. Finally. Because like play into her being a CEO, like top tier type. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like showing her on like talk shows and stuff and like going out and like selling the whole character in like a cohesive manner for once. Then another fantastic, unexpected thing to happen, but Hurt Syndicate against Private Party and Mark Briscoe. MVP just like can still go. Like he hasn't been officially in the ring for like 2+ years, and like still able to do like the old shit, and like even the crowd remembering like ballin' and stuff. Beautiful. But yeah,
hell yeah.
Once again, just making the Hurt Syndicate look like $1 million, and very much just showing that like, okay, sorry, Private Party, but this is the direction we're going in now. If they don't take the belts off of them and put them on Hurt Syndicate, like Shelton and Lashley, I will be shocked.
That's my assumption, is we're leading up to them taking the belts off them. I have a feeling Hurt Syndicate's going to have a lot of belts amongst the team by the end of the year. So
yeah, I would put like tags easily, and then TNT title on Shelton, and make Bobby Lashley a competitor for the World Championship easily.
Yep.
That's
That's kind of my idea.
Yeah, if not that, he better have like the International or Continental Championship soon.
I mean, the IC one would be the one I would think is the quickest path for belts. Ooh.
Oh, I'm sorry, international belt, not
or internet.
Wrong company.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yep. Yeah, you're right. Yep. International belt. Sorry, my bad.
low light of the night was this MJF Jeff Jarrett promo battle. Like, started off strong, ended strong, but there was a real ugly middle, and it just went too fucking long. And Jeff Jarrett said some things that are just like, not the right call, Jeff. Just not the right call. Bit of a stumble, but
this is the one where MJF said some shit about Owen Hart, right?
Yeah, and like that's not like the problem, so to speak. Like, I knew that was gonna like come in there like eventually. It was more or less like Jeff Jarrett like doing the heel shtick of like calling the other guys, lady in their life, just a whore. Like,
oh god,
like, Jeff, you're supposed to be like, the kind of like the good guy in this situation. You shouldn't have like gone down that path. I understand the aspect of like him like throwing like MJF's like shtick back at him in a way just to show that like, oh no, I can do this too. Like, you're not so bad. Like, I can be just as bad as you, but this wasn't the right call for this. No.
I mean, he has that little bit of that anti-hero-ness about him, I'll admit.
Yeah.
But that's some shit that should have stayed in the 80s.
Yeah.
So
no, there was good shit in the beginning, and there was, like you said, the stuff with Owen being incorporated, calling back to Jeff Jarrett's problem with alcohol, calling him like the Grim Reaper of wrestling promotions, throwing shade at his days in like TNA and like Deep South and all that kind of stuff. That was good. It was just like they needed to cut like the entire middle section out of this promo section. It went on way too long. It went longer than the women's casino gauntlet match.
are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, by a substantial amount.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's. I was surprised by that. Sorry.
Yeah. Then we had Hook versus Christian Cage, where it was okay. I mean, it's Christian Cage. He's gonna make anybody look good. I mean, you could legitimately like put that dude in a ring with a broom handle, and he'd still have like at least three stars on the match.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just finally, as they're like looking to Pillmanize Hook, who but makes a save, but Samoa fucking Joe, and just coming out and just Samoa Joe is one of those guys that he can make anything look cool.
Oh yeah,
and he does everything that you want him to do in a span of like 2 minutes. He does the nope spot with Kip Sabian, and Nick Wayne, and he follows it up with just the cleanest snap power slam you could ever see.
Ooh.
Just
okay.
He's so goddamn good at it that it's like watching a magic trick.
I like anytime you can snap a move out, and it adds that thunderous sound to it that just fucking sells. Like,
it's one of those things where it looks like they're defying gravity for a moment.
I love that.
It happens so smooth and so quickly. You're just like, okay, it's like the Matrix, like bullet time in real time.
Dude, that's so good.
Yeah. Then we had the women's casino gauntlet match. No surprise, Toni Storm won. Big surprise was the debut of Megan Bayne, coming out and just looking like a hoss, just a beast of a woman in this moment. Hopefully they utilize her somewhere in the future in a big way, because she looked fantastic out there. She looked like powerful and scary, like she could be a real threat to anybody. And
that's awesome.
God, there was a moment where Willow Nightingale was in there. She had a move, and then she did like the Batista like machine gun mimic mime where he does his entrance in his music. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Main event: Moxley versus Powerhouse Hobbs. If this was anywhere other than Cincinnati, they would have had the crowd 100% on Hobbs' side. But because they're in Cincinnati, like, Mox is a hometown boy, he's gonna get cheered, and they were out for him in a big way. Otherwise,
Yeah.
like, this is just like, I would have like put all my money on Hobbs and like the crowd being behind him 100% because they made him. He looked so goddamn cool in this match. Just no way.
I mean, it's time to put a belt on him,
Mm-hmm.
like for real.
Yeah. There was a moment early on where Hobbs had Moxley in the corner and decided that he was just gonna bite Mox's ear to rip his piercing out.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. He looked vicious in that. It was great.
Next thing you know, they're going to be starting a edibles company together, and it's going to be like a chunk bitten out of the ear.
Mike Tyson already did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holyfield, too. They're together on that.
Good for them. Let Holyfield
It was
secure the bag.
teamwork.
Yeah. And
Hell yeah.
You need two people to bite somebody's ear off.
For real. That's true. Well, no. You need to.
Yeah. SmackDown, we had opening with Rey Mysterio coming out, declaring himself for the Rumble, and getting interrupted by KO, and just KO, just what was it that said on his shirt? The Canadian Dream, son of a systems technician.
Yeah, it's making fun of yet another of Cody's dad's shirts that he would wear.
Mm-hmm.
The son of a plumber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, American Dream. Yeah, just Kevin Owens stays just one of those guys that's just like the little things he does just makes him the best, you know?
It's these like deep cuts that he pulls from like with just his shirts and everything. Like it's amazing.
No. First match of the night, I believe. Yeah. Naomi and Bianca versus Nia, Candice LeRae. So Nia back on SmackDown. In the tag team with Candice LeRae. For some reason, they want the tag titles. I'm not sure. Maybe I think they're just they need to do something a little bit more because I'm sure they're going to run this back. I just hope they do like add like a stipulation to it, you know?
Yeah, it's weird that Nia and Candice are together as a team. Like at first it felt like Candice was going to pull some petty shit with Nia. But it doesn't feel that way now. She just wants to be like the best insubordinate ever. Yeah, I feel like the biggest reason they're doing this overall is to give Bianca and Naomi some real challenge because they don't really have many people to face right now. So
No, not in the tag division. No. I guess it's just. I'm assuming it's something for them to do until like Jade comes back.
That's kind of my guess too.
Just kind of like a holding pattern, and fine. Not a terrible match. It was fine. It was good. There was some good moves, good moments, good character work. Then we had Jimmy Uso, Big Jim versus Carmelo Hayes. After Jimmy just had the burn of the century on Melo and tell him he don't miss, but with all those bricks you could build a house. Just destroying him. Once again, Jimmy, most unserious man, doing some work with Carmelo's sunglasses in the beginning of this match. I kind of loved. And then he had one of the sickest looking pop-up Samoan drops he's ever had in his career. That was pure awesome.
The spear he did was brutal. Midway through the match as well, or sorry, near end of the match.
Yeah.
That was absolutely brutal. Carmelo sold the shit out of that dude.
Yeah, Carmelo's good at bumping. He'll sell his ass off for you if you give him the opportunity, which is a dangerous position to be in because that's where Dolph Ziggler was for years, and why he ended up just kind of like floating in the middle for so long is because he was too good at selling.
Yeah, I do worry about that with Carmelo as well.
Yeah.
Because it does seem like they're starting to put more of their weight behind Andrade than him. In the idea of like who could have a belt first. But I do have to say though, this was like the first time watching Carmelo face off against someone where I was really, really happy. Other than when he faced Cody.
Yeah.
Because that was a great match too. I'm just tired of seeing him face the same people over and over and over again. So I need the variety.
And they've added a new twist in it with the new bloodline coming out, causing the DQ, going after Jimmy, and like Carmelo and them being on the same page until they weren't.
Okay. Jay was going for the Uso splash, right?
Mhm.
And he just stood there on the top rope staring at Fatu for what felt like minutes.
Yeah.
But was actually only like maybe 10 seconds. Only for what's his face to come and like shake the rope and make him drop.
Yep.
I wish that stare down lasted a little bit less time. And it might have been they were just waiting for his face to get up to be able to shake the rope. I get it.
Yeah.
But like it just felt a little too long. Just a little too long.
It was a little bit cheap, but it was fine, so to speak.
It was still a good match though. And I like how it ended by DQ. It works. I'll take it.
I mean, I just hope, like, we've gotten quite a few DQs these past couple episodes of WWE TV, and I hope we don't revert back to like pre-2020 era where it was like every other match ended in a DQ because nobody was allowed to win clean and people weren't allowed to look weak on TV anymore. I hope we don't, like, I want clean finishes. I like that aspect of it. Like, it's okay to have people win and lose.
Yeah. Like, look at Gunther. He looks weak as hell.
Yeah. And then there was the Solo Sikoa aspect of this, coming out, not saying anything, taking off his jacket on the way out, and Jacob Fatu just giving like the shoutiest promo, and like not really saying that he isn't crazy, but also is coming across as crazy.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Yeah.
Walsh, did you watch this?
I did not.
Okay,
Yeah.
So like he's like, y'all called me crazy. Well, maybe I am a little crazy. But I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
And he, like, that man has some sort of muscle issue. He can't sit still. He's got to be shaking around and everything.
Just watching the whatever, like, sweat or grease or hair oil just fly off of him.
Yes,
every time he
all
moves.
of it.
He's like,
all of the above.
The dude is like, he's dripping wet at all times. I don't understand where it comes from.
Do you remember the fish man in what?
The Boys? The Deep?
No. What is that?
Hellboy?
The
Hellboy?
Hellboy. Yeah, Hellboy.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the tank that he has, filled with water. It's filled with oil for his beard, oil for his hair.
Yeah.
It's also got some bacon grease in there because you got to look shiny.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's just vegetable oil
And electrolytes, because you gotta stay healthy.
That's what plants crave.
Then we had a banger of a fucking tag match, Los Garza versus Motor City Machine Guns. Hell yeah. Look,
I liked it.
I'm not going to disparage Los Garza, just because, like, it's been weeks and I couldn't really tell you what their characters are, other than they're a tag team.
Well, they have matching tattoos on opposite sides.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you connect them, they fuse into one character.
Okay, so it's like a Goten and Trunks situation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, they've been ruined for me because I listened to too much Cultaholic, and they refer to them as the shagging cousins. So that's just who they are in my head.
You know what?
Yeah.
Like, how many times removed are they?
I don't know.
Not enough.
Not enough is the answer. Yes, thank you, Walsh.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that gimmick. What?
No. I mean, that's not their gimmick. That's just what they decided that they are. But during Motor City Machine Guns.
Face.
entrance, we got Joe Test talking about the new WWE and TNA partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there's a lot of chatter about this as far as like, you know, people reacting to it on like an industry-wide basis. This is something to be cautious about, because if you follow the precedent of WWE's history with partnering with other companies, it's not good for the company that they partner with, because they usually just end up poaching up all their talent and driving them out of business.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, not saying that this will happen. I'm just saying that they have a history of doing exactly that.
This won't happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna notice. They're gonna notice.
I do gotta say, my favorite bit of it was the paired social media posts where they both put up this almost the same image, but each one of them made their logo bigger than the other ones on it. just slightly bigger.
You gotta flop that meaty wanger out there and show how big it is. You know what I mean? Like you can't have them. You had to put them in the background so it always looks small.
Yeah. There was a makeshift match of Piper Niven and B-Fab after this, which I like Piper. I'm happy to see her wrestling. B-Fab, I didn't really know she could wrestle up until she did that one match how many weeks ago. But
we were all confused.
Yeah,
so.
it's all right. It's whatever. Just keep having Piper do that Secret Service gimmick with Chelsea Green, and I'm happy to have her on TV. If she gets time in the ring, I'm happy for her just the same.
Me too. I like where Chelsea's going with her character and being the champ. She's not taking chances. She's going to take out anybody who even might remotely be, even B-Fab.
Yeah.
I think the person who shined the most out of this, though, in my opinion, is Michin.
Oh, yeah.
When she came out at the end to save B-Fab and keep her from getting just absolutely destroyed by the 2-year U.S. Women's Champion, Chelsea Green. She looked strong. She was able to actually, like, pretty much take Piper out.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be a good year for Michin, man. Like, for real.
I could see that. I tell you what, though, there is one thing. If they're going to, go that route with her going after the U.S. title and taking off of Chelsea Green, before that moment happens, there's just one thing I want them to do at least once with her and Piper Niven, and I want a get down, Madam President moment where she dives on top of her to save her from getting hurt at something. I want that to happen at least once before anything else happens with her title reign is over.
Have it so that when Piper does that, she accidentally pins Chelsea and takes the title.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, have it be like a fatal 4-way match with or a triple threat, but like add Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, and there's like Michin is in there, and anybody else, and just like have that moment. That's great. Do it. That'd be hilarious.
I would fucking love it, dude. if they were willing to do something like that, 2025 could be a much better year than it's originally looking to be like for in general, not wrestling wise.
Yeah. Then we had Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Owens on the show. Not too like
it was a good match. I mean, let's be real. Mysterio pulled out some shenanigans that we didn't really expect to see necessarily.
That like sliding splash.
Yeah, dude. That was a really hard 619 he did as well. What was that? His own Mexican Destroyer, like style move. Like I don't remember the name of it, but yeah.
That's the thing with like Rey Mysterio is like he's got the bag of tricks where he's not gonna put on like a bad match unless something like a serious botch, like something egregious happens. Like a standard Rey Mysterio match is gonna be good. That's what it is. Like it's
oh yeah.
It may not be great, but it'll still be good. Like, the dude could wrestle on autopilot now, basically.
I think he's been able to do that for a long time.
Yeah.
For a long time.
I mean, he's an old pro at this stage, you know?
I mean, I really like the match. It was a solid way to sell KO. Just being that little bit too angry to realize how much of a shithead he's being.
Yeah.
Especially with that promo work they did in the beginning of the show, where, you know, Ray's trying to show respect to KO, but he's like, dude, you ain't the champ. Like, once you take that actual belt off Cody, I'll face you for it.
Yeah.
That promo is what led into this match working for me, hardcore. Because obviously, yeah, you're right. The dude can be on autopilot. You're still going to get a good match. But I think this match really did help sell KO more.
Yeah, and like the only like strange thing from like the show itself that is kind of irking me is the reveal from Nick Aldis telling Cody and Kevin Owens that both their titles are going to be up for grabs at their ladder match. Like they're like
it's the same
wing,
title.
Yeah, it's the same title. Like Kevin Owens has just been walking around with the winged eagle since Saturday night's main event because reasons. Look, Kevin Owens is best when he's that guy who like is aware of all of the tropes of wrestling and plays into it. He's not, like, he's still good as like the delusional heel, don't get me wrong. Like, he's not bad at any aspect of it. Like, he's one of those guys that can make anything work. It's just that, like, this is just confusing.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not going to lie. A little bit.
Yeah.
Especially because Cody was just like, well, I'll just get the old version of the belt that I was technically supposed to use.
Yeah.
I guess. And just start walking around with that one. So it's like, what? When he walks into that building, can you just have someone just slightly bigger than him just grab that real quick and just give that back? Because he's clearly not going to give it back.
Yeah, like, can't like, I've seen the backstage stuff. Like, I know they just put those belts in a traveling locker, you know, in between the shows. Like, unless somebody's doing, like, media appearance, they're not usually walking around with the belt. Just,
right.
Just have an intern grab it. Like, have him hold on to it and just, like, okay, sorry, you don't get this back now.
Oh, here, so let me grab that real quick from you just so I can put it in the case for you.
Yeah.
And just walk off.
Just bring it back to the archives.
Yeah. He doesn't need to be walking around with that belt to be selling his anger at Cody. Like, this could be done just as well without that fucking belt. That's what is so confusing to me about all this.
It's very strange. Who knows? Maybe Saturday night's main event will put an end to it and they can move on to something else. Or no, is that the Royal Rumble? They're doing that at the Rumble. Why am I... Because I forgot what's happening at Saturday night's main event entirely now. I'm going to have to look that back up before it happens.
It's not going to matter that much, Alex, because there's going to be so many Saturday night main events, so you're not going to remember which one was which.
Yeah, that's true. But hey, hopefully I'll at least be entertained while watching it.
Real quick.
Yeah.
My computer just popped up a weather alert. It's technically a thermometer. Okay. I realized after the fact. When it's a small icon, it looks like a noose. I was like, yo, what are you warning me about, bro? Like,
Go
what the
outside,
hell?
Die.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, are like nooses like dropping to grab people and dragging them up or something?
You know, that's actually a great lead into like the last thing I wanted to cover today. And that was AEW Collision. Because I know you usually skip over it, and I know Walsh never watches it. But they opened up with Hangman Page, speaking of nooses, committing a murder on TV. There was a Texas death match between Hangman Adam Page and Christopher Daniels. Reportedly, this is Christopher Daniels' last match. And watching it, Hangman killed that dude. Like, he killed CD on TV.
No.
I mean, Hangman has a reputation for Texas death matches. he has a reputation to live up to. He did not disappoint. If this is Christopher Daniels' last match, going out like this was like watching one of the Spartans from 300 go out in his shield.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's how you go out.
Yeah, like there was barbed wire, there was tables, there was chairs, there was a lot of risky spots. I mean, there was a powerbomb through chairs that happened during the commercial break.
Yo.
Lot of risky maneuvers. But Derek, remember that coup de grace through the table on Raw? Yeah. Hangman did it to Christopher Daniels. This was him stealing Swerve's move, the Swerve Stomp. But similar setup. Table didn't break the same way in this instance. No, it broke at where the brace of one of the table legs is, where basically like Christopher Daniels' shoulders were on the table. That's where it broke. It was like it could have
impaled him.
Yeah. Like they got very lucky with the way that this table broke and didn't actually, completely become an in memoriam segment on national TV and on streaming.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
That would have been insane. Yeah,
just so much blood. Christopher Daniels just bled so goddamn much that Hangman was dripping with Christopher Daniels' blood because there was that much. Also, there was a table spot with a table with barbed wire taped to it, which then got reused after it was broken when Christopher Daniels laid it on top, barbed wire down on top of Hangman to hit a moonsault again on top of him. He did back-to-back moonsaults with a broken piece of table on top of him.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And that dude already has like a beautiful fucking moonsault to begin with.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
holy shit.
Yeah, it is called like the most perfect moonsault. So there's an establishment with Hangman. He stole Swerve's move, the Swerve Stomp, and then he stole Christopher Daniels' finishing maneuver after the match because it's a Texas death match. So there's no pinfall. It's either submission or knockout. And he knocked Christopher Daniels out. He fucking killed him. But as he was going to leave, he decided no, turned around, came back, and then just hit Christopher Daniels with his own finishing maneuver. So it seems like we're establishing that Hangman's going to steal the moves of his victims now. That's what's happening.
He is Shang Tsung.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, your soul is mine.
Yeah.
It's a good gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
You know your thing? Mine.
Yeah, exactly.
He should literally do a motion to look like Shang Tsung to suck a soul out of someone and then immediately start using their moveset. I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
And the rest of the show was pretty standard Collision, except for the main event, which got a lot of hate before the show went on the air, which was the 12-man tag team match with the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, Big Bill, the Redwood, Brian Keith, the Bad Apple, Moxley and the Death Riders of Claudio and Wheeler versus Rated FTR, Adam Copeland, FTR, and the Outrunners, and Powerhouse Hobbs. So, 12 men in a ring. Not really sure why Chris Jericho is teaming with the Death Riders. Didn't make a lot of sense, which is why a lot of people were like, why the fuck is this happening? And
Alex?
Yeah.
January 6th, 2021.
Yeah.
That's why he joined the Death Rider.
It
makes perfect sense.
Because his wife went to the Capitol?
Because he didn't know where his wife was.
Oh, and he was hoping Mox... yeah, okay. Yeah, Jericho tried justifying it earlier in the night in a promo. Didn't make a lot of sense. And then before the match, the Learning Tree had jumped Will Hobbs to take him out of the match. And so much as so as stealing his leg brace, too. Which is when it came match time, Hobbs was not in it. He was backstage with the medical team, only to come out at the very end for the finish.
Okay.
A lot of insanity in this. Really just... It didn't make a fucking lick of sense, honestly. But it was kind of fun. Except there was some, like, real strange moments. Like, at some point, the Death Riders gave up on kind of winning the match and decided that they were going to black bag Adam Copeland and try and kidnap him. Which led to half of both the teams sprawling and brawling through the arena outside and leaving the arena base. Like, I don't know what happened to them. I'm assuming that's going to get followed up with on Dynamite next week with some, like, hopefully the camera crews caught up to them, but we didn't see them at the end of the show.
So, like, they're still brawling right now.
For all we know,
making their way to the next city.
Yeah.
And the camera crew's just still trying to run up after them.
Yeah. Who knows? They're somewhere out. We have no resolution at this moment.
Because we don't have a camera crew. That's why. We don't know what the resolution is.
Yeah. Just, it was so weird. But it did end with Powerhouse Hobbs coming out, hobbling on one leg, and just brutalizing the Learning Tree, who were the only ones on the opposite team to still be in there, using some help with the Outrunners to put them to bed, and whatever. It was just like, it was weird. It was real weird. You could skip this one, but watch. But I'd say watch Hangman versus Christopher Daniels, because that is likely going to be Christopher Daniels' last match, because he's fucking dead.
Yeah, I actually like Christopher Daniels, so I'm going to be watching it for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was going to be likely his last one. No, makes me sad, but dude's been in the game for fucking ever.
Mm-hmm. He's worked, like, across I don't know how many promotions and had how many championships, and is been how many different personas over the years. Like, back in TNA, he was like Curryman at one point, and he was at one point also Suicide back in the day.
Yep.
The video game character that they turned into a wrestler.
Yep. That was a name I was both surprised and not surprised to see.
Yeah.
Because everyone's been Suicide technically to some degree.
To some degree, yeah.
So
yeah, like, oh shit, Jimmy didn't make it. Here, you put on Suicide's gear. Get out there.
For real. God damn. I love it.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was from the deep there. Jeez.
Man, you just like, that was scary, man. That freaked me out.
Sorry about that. Before we call it for the night, I do want to throw out this final little tidbit to take home with you and think about for a little bit. MJF on Twitter today posted TikTok gets retired before Jeff Jarrett ? ! Exclamation point. So,
well, you know what? Jeff Jarrett, you can always revitalize that career, bro. Just go to Red Note.
Mm-hmm.
Zhang Shu or whatever it is. And
Little Red
Chinese.
Book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, while the rest of us mourn the loss of TikTok, CapCut, and Marvel Snap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're owned by the same company.
Wait.
Yeah. So we lose access to all those for the time being.
I still have CapCut. It still works at the moment. But I can't update it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if you try opening it on your phone, it just doesn't load.
No, it does not. Mm-hmm. But on the computer, it will load. It just I can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you next week with who knows what shenanigans await us this week. The only thing left to do, let's say goodnight to the shifters, boys.
Good night, everybody.
Buenas noches, night shift.
Woo.